Okay, we are now live as well.
Let's go.
We are indeed live. So,
Yeah.
um, hello everybody. I know this seems a little off to have another D&D session right after yesterday, but this is just a little bit of some lore stuff that happens with Shaemar, with only our only guest here, Shaemar. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello. I am Star and I play Shaemar, and we're going to get to do some fun little stuff with her today.
Indeed, we are. But before we get to the point, get to the major point of this, we're kind of go through a little bit of some context, because of course, with what happened in last session, I don't think it would make sense that, of course, Shaemar would be in a situation like this while everybody else is currently getting pummeled by a crystalline guardian. Um,
Well, Zoro's getting strung up, man.
so So we're gonna give this a little bit of context. So this was a good, maybe about good few weeks before the start of what happened in the other session, that Shaemar was, kind of feeling like what was it that Shaemar wanted to do before the beginning of the crystalline startup of this next part of the arc.
Well, I think Shaemar kind of, like in the 2 weeks she kind of had to, settle more into Ravenfall. She's probably just been more thinking about kind of her place in things because she isn't very good with the world yet. She still comes from a very, how you say, indoctrinated military background. And it's not kind of like Zoro, where he was like, the leader of his own group and, he's found a way to kind of merge those two worlds. Shaemar is still very much stuck in a certain kind of thinking. And, she's very, how you say, very, very rigid still. She's kind of trying to find out who she is, but she's never really been taught who she is or what she should do or anything like that outside of just following orders. So that's basically been all she's been doing. She's also not super used to like kindness and such. So she's probably been for the past couple of weeks thinking about something to try and get Aragon to, try and tell him how much she appreciated all the help he gave to the elves because for her help has never really come for free. And even though she tries her very hardest to, I guess how you say, put her best foot forward and be kind of the person she wants to see in the world, nobody else really seems to do the same, or at least they aren't as interested in doing so as she is. So she really appreciates that Aragon is that forthcoming with it all. And, was so kind to do all of that for her and just for her people. And aside from that, she also wants to ask, William, because she hasn't had the chance to go back to him in a long time and speak and really understand, more of his words. At first, she kind of just threw them aside, but since now she's found out more with Aragon and Balian, now she's really concerned and wants to ask his opinion on things again because she did not think he was right before, and now she doesn't really know what to do. And she's probably one of the only people who knows anything about this or could help her remember any significant chunk of her memory. So she does want to go speak with him again. And also, like, maybe she wants to get like a small gift for Celeste for, accidentally running into her with Mercurio. She didn't mean to, see her half naked. She just wanted to like stop Eric from burning down the tavern and being a dick to Mercurio. So that's probably some of the things going through her mind.
Okay, so just kind of some small things. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. We'll kind of get started. Who is it that you want to visit first as to all of this? Who is it that you kind of want to start with for this whole session?
Hmm. Well, I think probably first things first, she'd probably want to get Aragon a nice gift, so that way he knew that she was still thinking of him and, very, very much grateful. Maybe find him a little gift, maybe some tea, since that's what her scarf is, smells comfortingly of, is nice herbal tea. So maybe she'd get him like some tea. And especially since he had a wife, maybe since he said he had a wife, she'd probably get him like, maybe some candles or just she'd probably be asking around, asking people at the shop like, what do married people usually like for gifts? What should I get them?
Okay. So, you kind of go, you start making your way out into Ravenfall, and you start asking a couple of the elves and other humans around about, certain things about like married couples. And you get a couple suggestions here and there of like, some candle scents and some tea recommendations that you would bring up. So you kind of go through and you kind of scroll through some of them, and you find a couple that might seem a little interesting. You find like this nice elven Earl Grey tea. You also find this oddly scented like citrus y type of mint like herbal tea as well that you find from like a small little quaint tea shop that's kind of starting to kind of gain a little bit of traction in Ravenfall. Um, and you find like a bunch of other types, but those seem to be the quite notable ones that seem to really catch your attention out of all of them.
All right, Shaymar will kind of just like pick those up. Maybe she'll stop by like one of the bakeries that Zoro and Celeste manage and try and get like a small cake or something because fucking heaven knows she's not going to be able to bake one. And so she'll just like get something like small and transportable that people say is like generally tasty. And then she'll go to meet with Aragon.
Okay. So, you blow the horn after you collect all the supplies and materials that you're gonna need. You collect everything, and you blow the horn, and you see the portal open up once again, and you see coming out is Aragon. But you see that Aragon is kind of covered in a bit of soot and dust. As see him kind of like stumbling his way. I was like, huh, oh, oh. So you're the one that blew the horn. Whew. Sorry, seems it might be being a little bit of a mess. Hi, Shaemar. It's good to see you again. You see that he kind of like reaches out for a hug and he kind of pats you, and you get some, you feel some of the soot and like almost like coal, like burned coal is like all throughout his like clothes and his face as he kind of gives you a small hug. It's like, it's good to see you again. Whew. Sorry, I was working on a little project. I kind of got lost a little bit, but can I help you?
Oh, uh, I am sorry if I came at a bad time.
Oh,
And like Shaymar will like hold out like one of the little candles and like probably a few of the pastries, and she'll just be like, I wanted to thank you for the scarf. And she'll just like point to it where she has it around her neck, and she'll just be like, it's wonderful. It's
oh,
very, very comfortable. I wear it all the time when I patrol. It keeps the cold air out. I wanted to give you a gift back. All of the things you've done for the elves. It is the least I can do.
oh. Well, I'll definitely take this for sure. You see that he picks up. You see that he picks up each piece. Is like, oh, some nice tea. Some cake. My wife would love that. Uh, you know, you see that he pats himself a little bit, and you see some of like the dust fall off him. He's like, this might be a bit of a bad time, but I think this should be a good time for it. Why don't you come in? You see that he kind of like pushes the portal open a bit more, and you see like this like weird astral plane as he looks over. He's like, yeah, come on, come on.
Shaymar will just like be kind of surprised for a second. Like she'll look at him and she'll just be like, uh, "Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't want to disrupt it."
Oh no, no, no! Don't say anything like that. Listen, I was just working on a bit of a project for another client of mine, and it's a bit of a hefty one, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I'm just doing some small things. But come on through, come on. Let's get you somewhere nice and a little more humid. Not really humid, but somewhere nice. And you see that he kind of holds the portal open for you.
And Shaymar will just like duck her head and head on in.
So for a few brief moments, Shaymar, you see nothing but like this nebulous space that you're standing in, and it seems as though like you're floating in this nebulous space. As you look over, you see Aragon start walking away from you, and you see that he stops and turns around. And is like, well, come on. Oh, right. I forgot you can't see it. One moment. You see that he goes over to you, and you see that he like pulls out this like small little brush, like the small like paintbrush in his hand. He says, uh, "I hope you don't mind. I'm a little short. Do you mind kind of bending down a little bit?"
Shaemar will just like, squat. She'll be like, of course. Sorry.
So you squat down, you see that he like paints something on your head, and when you see that he's done, you see that like the ground beneath you starts to take up a form, almost like an illusory spell is starting to dissipate, and you begin to see this as I open it up to you and to the audience as well. I'll open it up to you first. As you begin to see this.
Ooh.
You see a quaint home, a very large looking building, and then you see that there is something that is under construction over on the left. Seems fairly plain and simple, but it seems like the kind of thing that would be around in it. Which, honestly, in a like very nebulous space like this that looks almost as if you are in like a void of some sort, seems so very out of place. As you see that Aragon looks at you, he says, "So, can you see it?"
Uh, I believe so. And Shaemar will just like kind of like pat like the ground around her with her foot for a second and just like seeing if it's really there. She'll be like, uh, I am supposed to walk on this patchwork, yes?
Yeah, so this is my home. I've got this nebulous space here. I know it seems a little out of place to have a place like this, but I got it as a reward for helping out a dear friend of mine. I call my customers dear friends, of course. It was something that a dear friend of mine decided to. It's weird. It's almost as if he took a piece of like limbo and made it a playground for me to work in. So this is my home. This is where I do all my work. So of course you see that he points over at the big building off to the right. He says, "This over there, that's the building that I go and I work on, most of my projects. I got some people that usually come in every now and then to help me on some of those projects. I can't really name them, of course. Of course, there's my home right there, which I'm pretty sure my wife is somewhere inside. So, she's probably there, probably having some tea or something. And then, of course, there's something I've been building over there." You see that he shows like a small, like, stone incomplete building as he shows. He says, "Yeah, I've been trying to make something for my wife because I know that she's wanting to do some gardening, but she said she wants a place to be able to see all of her plants or something when they grow. I don't know anything about that. I don't do in gardening, but this is my home. Yeah, oh, come on in. You see that he guides you over to the home. As you make your way over to the home, you get this faint smell of like fresh pastries that are being made somewhere in there. You see that as Aragon opens the door and he just completely disappears for some reason. You see that as Aragon opens the door and you see that he walks and he says, "Honey, I'm home. Man, it's a bad thing to be here. All of this." You see this quaint dragon folk female look over and she says, "Aragon, I told you to get cleaned up before you step inside the home." You see that Aragon looks over, he's like, "Oh, right, but you see, I've got something special here. I've got a friend, somebody who wants to kind of show off that they brought some stuff for us." You see that she looks over, it's like, oh, sorry, hello, can I help you?" As she looks at you, Shaemar.
Shaemar, just like suddenly feeling very self-conscious, will probably like look between the two of them and be like, I am sorry if the timing was bad. Your husband, he's been very, very kind to me." And like she'll just like point to the scarf and she'll just be like, he made my scarf. I love the scarf, but he's been he's given so much to my people too. I just and like she'll just like kind of like hand out the pastry and the candle and like try to hold the tea under like her arm, like with her hands
Yeah.
full, and she'll be like, I I wanted to give you all something back. I got you some tea, uh, some food. I think it's good. I know Celeste works there, and Zoro too, and I know they're good at their jobs, so I think it will be tasty. I think. And here are some candles.
Oh. You see that she looks over and she's like, "Oh dear, you didn't have to. Thank you." You see that she goes over and she picks up all this stuff. She's like, "These seem to be made of very high quality. I can agree. These look lovely. I'll go ahead and get everything prepared for you two, okay? You, man, you, young man," as she points at Aragon, she's like, "You go upstairs and go get changed. I will deal with our new guest." You see that Aragon looks like, "Dearie me. All right, all right. I could get myself washed up. You go ahead and have a nice conversation with my wife. I'll just be upstairs getting changed before we go down to business." As he goes upstairs, as you see that he quickly goes off upstairs, and she says, "Oh, come in, and have a seat. Have a seat by the fire. I'll have everything ready for us in just a moment."
Shaemar like probably not not used to being in a new realm in like a new plane with new people who she's never met is probably just like kind of like scratching the back of her head and being like, uh, yeah, sure, and like trying to play off that she's really fucking awkward and doesn't know how to do anything here, and so she'll just like sit by the fire, not really knowing what to do, and she'll just be like, I love your house. It's wonderful," he added. "Beautiful."
Oh, yes, yes. Aragon was the one that got it up for us once we got this new realm. I didn't know how he got it, but apparently he said he got it from a friend, so I think it was a good investment. One moment. You see, you hear a couple bits of clattering as you hear like some plates and cups being moved around, and then finally, about a good few minutes later, you see that a plate kind of like goes next to you, and you see that Aragon's wife is there. Aragon's wife is there putting down a plate with like a slice of the cake that you brought in, along with the cup with the tea in it that you brought in as well. As you see that she goes over and has her own plate and cup as she sits by the fire, and she says, "Well, it's good to meet you. What's your name?"
Uh, Sorry for dropping in unannounced. I didn't think your husband would invite me in, but my name is Shaemar.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. He always brings in a lot of guests here anyway, so it's normal that he would have this kind of thing and not let me know. So it's okay. Name is Vela. You see that she kind of holds out a hand. You see that she kind of holds out like a small palm toward you. She's like, "The name is Vela."
Shaemar will take her palm and be like, it is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Bella. Um, may I ask, how long has your husband been doing this, his work?"
Oh dear, he's been doing this for how long since our marriage? Probably I think a good about 16 better off years.
"Oh wow, he's
Yes.
quite the expert." And
Mm.
like she'll just like show her lances, and she'll be like, "I didn't even know he'd made these, but they hold up incredibly well."
Oh yes, my husband makes a lot of things like that. He has a knick-knack for kinds of things like that. He's always been very creative with some things, but I know, of course, he always tries to make sure to keep me in mind. So that's good. And yeah, I'm glad that he's been taking care of you. How have you been? How has Aragon been treating you so far?
Oh, Aragon's been treating me wonderfully. I mean, I barely even knew the man, but he's been more than kind.
Hmm, that's good. Good. Yeah, Aragon's Aragon's very generous with a lot of things that he does, and well, he gets paid back in full for that, so that's fine. We make a nice living out here. It's very nice and peaceful, and every now and then I'll go out and go get some groceries and come back, and it's not too much of a hassle.
Ah, so you can leave this place then at will? This plane?
Oh yes, the horn. I'm assuming you received from him is the one you got, right? The horn.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah, that's how we leave. We enter and come back through the horn. The horn is usually what gets us back here, because I don't know how his friend had done it, but his friend had made it so the horn would direct us straight here. Anywhere else, and I doubt that we'd be able to go home, but it's good that we were able to come back home at will. It's nice. We don't have to walk home or anything out in the human world and risk being heard, so we just have our fun.
Well, I can relate to that. Sometimes I portal home, but I have tried to get out of that habit. It's just need strong legs to do what I do. Best not to take shortcuts.
Yes, Aragon's been known to really not take shortcuts, and he always likes to take the difficult way sometimes. And well, it's got him to be a pretty good blacksmith. And you hear some footsteps. You hear some footsteps coming from the stairs, and you see that Aragon comes down with, cleaned up. And you see that he is wearing a nice white tunic with some like leather pants, and you see he goes over. He's like, "All right, so I've got change. So, where's the festivities at?" You see that Vela looks at him. She's like, "You need to make sure that our guest is welcomed. All right?" And you see he looks like, "Oh, all right. I'll make sure they're welcomed. I've already given them the tour. I've already made sure they've seen things here. Okay, where are the festivities?" You see that she looks over and kind of like points at the table where there's the cake on a plate and then some tea that's in like a nice teapot. She says, "It's over there. Make sure to get enough for you and not too much. I know how much you like to eat." You see that Aragon quickly goes over and gets himself like a plate before he goes over. He kind of like sits on the floor behind you guys and has like his like plate of cake and then also his small cup of tea next to him. He says, "Okay, so how you liking the place, by the way? It's a place that I had to get built up in maybe a few hours, so I hope I did well at the construction, right?"
This took a few hours. The house?
Oh, the house. No, the stuff in here. Yes, the house took a bit longer because I'm not exactly well versed in carpentry, so I had to ask a couple favors to be able to help me make this. But how is it?
I think it's wonderful. I mean, it is a house. I don't think I could build a house in a day, an hour, no matter how much I tried.
Tell me about it. It's hard. Ooh. So, thank you for the festivities. I wanted to welcome you in here because, well, I brought Zoro here before, and Zoro's got a little bit of a taste of some of the festivities I've got around here. So, I also wanted to let you know, like, of course, I've already let you know before, but, if you have anything you want me to make, I'm always here to make it. I've got my workshop outside. I got my wife here, and then, I got some clients that come by and visit me, so I don't need anything else in life. I think I've pretty much struck gold. Maybe something better than gold. Adamantium. Well, no, adamantine, sorry.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I mean, I like your house. It is very cozy, and again, thank you so much for everything. Honestly, I'm not used to people being quite so kind to me or my people. I just wanted to give you something back. Yes.
Oh, you didn't need to. Everything that I did for you, so it's alright, You didn't need to do all of this, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you, Shaemar. As he kind of does puts his fist up to your forearm. He's like, "Thanks for the festivities. It's been a while since I've actually eaten because I've actually been out trying to get myself a new material that I've heard of that's might be something I might be able to use, but alas, I've never been able to find it. It's a little difficult to try to get a material when everybody else is trying to find it too, so it's tough luck."
What are you trying to find?
Well, they said that they found this like new material, this like very meldable one. It's I think they call it mithril. I think they call it. To your knowledge, Shaemar, elves have always known about mithril. It's just that the knowledge of mithril has always been kept a secret until now.
Oh, I know all about mithril. Mithril has always been an elven material. Do you want me to see if I could find you some?
You can.
I believe so.
Oh,
I
that
it's always
would be wonderful if you could procure just at least like maybe a small chunk of this mithril, I might be able to figure out how to work with it, and I might be able to just make something with that. What? I don't know, but I am excited to see what I can do with it if you do manage to find some. Thank you if you end up finding some out there.
Of course, in any way I can help you. For anything you've done, all you need to do is ask me. I would try and find any material.
I can't ask too much of my clients. My clients already do enough for me, making sure that I live the life that I've been wanting to. I can't ask too much of my clients, but unfortunately, this will be the one time I unfortunately have to ask. If you can find some mithril, I will gladly take it.
All right then. Mithril is on the agenda. I will find you some mithril. There you go.
Sounds good. You know, for that, I will see if I could try to make something with that very mithril. If you manage to find it, I'll see if I could try to make something for you. Anything in particular you had in mind?
Mm. Oh, I don't know. I need new armor, new weapons, but I don't know. I am reluctant to give up these beautiful lances. You know, I don't. They've become kind of a part of me in a sense, like new arms, extensions of me.
Ah,
But uh, maybe the armor would be something easier to let go of. I mean, it's already full of holes. I think I've been beaten a bit backwards and forwards with all the goals and such. You know.
yes, it's a difficult time then. Oof. Yeah, I remember that too. I was barely there when the ghouls started popping up. I immediately portaled home and made sure everything's alright here. Sheesh. Yeah, I'm not much of a fighter, so I can try, but these hands aren't really made for fighting. These hands are made for making, so what am I to do if I'm gonna fight some ghouls, right? uh,
Well, if you ever need anybody to fight for something, that is something I am very, very good at. So, if it is needed, please, again,
oh.
do not hesitate.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sure Zoro would say the same thing too if you were here. Say, how is he doing, by the way? I haven't heard from him in a while.
I believe he is doing well. I think he and Celeste are trying to do something with the bakeries and the cooking. It
Oh,
is not my forte. I could not tell you much, but everything he makes is delicious. I believe he and Captain Christensen and Private Mark, they are all doing something with the barracks now. He seems to
oh.
be doing well.
Well, that's good to hear. Ah, man. Oh, by the way, if you do find Zoro, do tell him that I might have something finished for him the next time I see him. So, let him know that I will have something ready, and just to come check it out. Because I just need to
Of
get the
course,
proper measurements. I've made a prototype of something that we've kind of been working on for a little while. It's just that I haven't been able to see him for a bit, and I kind of need him to get over here so I can be able to get the measurements right. Because you know how some people are, the measurements sometimes differ depending on the month. So I need to just make sure that the measurements on the armor and everything I got for him is all ready. And once it's all ready, I will be ready to give it to him. When it's ready, of course. It's prototype.
of course. I mean, I can't imagine it is very easy to find people 8 feet tall to measure. So I will make sure he comes by.
Oh yes, It's difficult to find clients that even want to work with you when you work with a lot of people. Because I will tell you, I work with a lot of people and I have a lot of clients, but there's some opportunity I had to pass up because it caused a lot of confusion and clashing between the two. Hell, I remember I brought in what is it? I think if I remember, there were two members of the 8 Star Tribunal that were here, and they almost blew up my entire home. I promised them I'd make them something because they promised me a large sum of money, but jeez, I didn't think that they'd both arrive at the same time, and when they did, it took a while to calm them down. You see that Vela looks over, she's like, mm-hmm. And who's the one that calmed them down? You see that Aragon looks. He's like, "It was me." No, it wasn't. It was my wife. It was my wife. You see that he kind of looks away and says, "Anyway, yeah. So took a took a bit for it to happen. I don't know if I should really ask this because it's kind of a weird place to ask. Do you know of a person? I doubt you'd probably know him, but do you know of a person? Do you know of a person named Ignis?
Uh, a bit ish. I've heard the name before. I think Falcoro knows him.
Oh, right. Yeah, last I saw him was almost a century ago, probably. I think. I don't know, but it has been a while since I've spoken to him. So, uh, is there? I mean, I hate to ask because of what happened last time, but is he still alive to your knowledge?
I believe so. I saw him chained inside of a chained and then ripped out of ish Falcoro, but then put inside of Falcoro. I honestly could not tell you much except for Zoro does not seem to trust it, and I don't know much about it.
Oh, okay. So you did do it. All right. Yeah. All right. So that does change things. Cause I did have something ready for him, but when I was trying to find him, I never could. But you said that somebody knows where he is.
I don't know if knows would be correct. I meant more can speak to. I think Falcoro can speak to this Ignis person, but I could not tell you much more than that when I tried to tell her to be careful around, you know, demons locked in cages trying to make deals with you.
Oh.
She just said, "No, no, 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 I can handle it. No, 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 no." So
Oh.
I could not tell you much more than that, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of people say that about Ignis, but Ignis actually was not like that. I'm surprised people still tell the wrong tale about Ignis. Huh. Even after a century, it seems like they say the wrong things about him. Hope they don't say the wrong thing about me. You see that he takes a quick sip of his tea and takes another bite of his slice of cake. It's like, so what I'm trying to say it. 1 second. You see that he takes another. You see that he like gulps down the tea. He's like, oh, sorry, I got the cake stuck in my throat. What I was trying to say is, regardless, I've got something for Ignis, and if you could hand it to him, or if you know somebody that might hand it to him, that would be great. Um, you see that he like you see that like a small pouch on his like leather like waist strap on his pants. You see that he opens it, and you see that he pulls out this like it's like fairly small box that he puts on the table. He's like, yeah, so Ignis had me made this for him before, said he was going to use it for something, but I never got to speak to him, so if you can hand this to him, that would be great. Yeah.
Uh, I can certainly try, but I will. And like, Shaemar will like kind of think about it for a second, and she'll just be like, "I can give it to Falcoril. She might know better than me. This Ignis person."
Yeah, so however which way you can get it to him, that'd be great. Um, yeah, because, you know, I will tell a tale. So, Ignis, how do I really say this about Ignis? Let's just say Ignis has been on both sides of a coin. You see that he pulls up a gold coin, and you see that there are the two sides of the gold coin that have different pictures on it. He says Ignis has been on both sides on this coin. Yeah, he's it's kind of got a weird history. Starting from nothing more than just a deity that guides dead souls from a battlefield to whatever to a previous member of the Eight Star Tribunal. Sounds a little off if you really think about it. How can one fall that far? But he wanted to make a redemption for himself, and that's why I've made this thing, because he reached out to me personally, which is what I find odd, because you don't exactly have a god, talk to you personally, unless of course there is something they need from you. So I took it as like, an angel sent, like he needs me for something. And yeah, he did. He needed me to make something for him. And before I could get it to him, I lost contact with him. I couldn't find him anywhere. So, I can't really say that there's much about Ignis besides, like, maybe he's still on his path to redemption? I don't know. But...
So, this Ignis person is a former, no, a deity who joined the Eight Star Tribunal and then disappeared.
Well, I can't say that he joined willingly. I was there for his coronation to be a part of the, a member of the Eight Star Tribunal. I was there for his coronation because he invited me to some big event, and it wasn't until after the event that he told me that he was joining the Eight Star Tribunal, which was a shock to me, because I never thought that he would ever join them, especially with what I've spoken to some of them about. The previous members of the Eight Star Tribunal were a lot less chaotic than the ones that are currently now, but to be fair, most of them are usually just working under Werther, which is kind of, I don't really like him. He's just, out of all the customers that I've worked with, Werther isn't exactly a customer I would say I enjoyed making something for him, and unfortunately I didn't have a choice, as he had bodyguards literally all around this area, and promised me that if I didn't make what he wanted me to make him, he would rip me to shreds. So that was fun. So yeah, I can't say I really like the guy. He's very upfront. It's kind of hard to really get a conversation with him without really thinking like he might have some ulterior motive with you, right? I mean, you've probably spoken to him before, right?
I can't say I've ever spoken to this Werther, but I think I've heard the name before. That is who. Eric said something about that. He said Werther is a monster, or I asked him if Werther was a demon, and he said no, Werther is a monster. I think it was something like that. But either way, I believe he shares your opinion that Werther was never something good.
Yeah, he was a little less than favourable, so I didn't like that. But yeah, Ignis, what can I really say about Ignis? I mean, Ignis has talked to me about a lot of things throughout his time being a deity, being an 8-star tribunal member, and, going on a path of redemption. It's weird, because I never thought a deity would share human emotion. I mean, have you really thought about that? Deities that really share human emotions, or even care about humans in the first place. It's weird, especially when he joined the 8-star tribunal. I mean, they're like the opposite of humanity, right? So I found it weird that he wanted to join them, but then he spoke to me saying that he didn't exactly join willingly. He was kind of misguided into joining them. It was hard to really hear, only because like the previous members who kind of brought him in promised him that they'd be helping humans instead of you see that he kind of puts his like thumb across his throat. He's like, instead of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess once he found out that they're instead just killing him, he's approached me and he wanted to find out if he can probably fix this. I told him I don't know, because I'm not an East Star Tribunal member, so I can't exactly say. But I mean, I gave him some words of wisdom. I told him, mate, if you really feel that strongly about something, then just go and do it. I don't know what seems to be stopping you. and it seems that he took it to heart. So he asked me to make something for him, a crown. What type of crown this was, I don't know. But he told me to make a crown for him for something, and I I made it with the materials he brought me before, but I couldn't find them. So it's just been sitting in this box the whole time. And you know, with the history he's had and the people that he's met before, you know, even there's even a woman that even got his attention too. I didn't even know about that, but I guess a falling out must have happened between the both of them, and apparently he was on his own. So that happened. It's just like a very weird love story if you think about it. But I don't know. I'm not Ignis, so I can't really say. You see that he like finishes his cake and finishes his tea. He's like, So that's a little bit of some history I have with Ignis. I'll make stuff. A lot of people approach me regardless of who they are, and sometimes I accept making things for them, but other times I'm forced to make it. It's not too bad because of course I'm still alive, but I just don't like that I'm supplying bad people. I just like to make things and supply it to whoever I want to, but can't exactly play that without coins, so you know.
Why don't you ask Zoro or me? I would come in a heartbeat. Don't let them push you around. I can take them on.
Oh, I know you can. Don't worry, I know that. But for me, I personally don't like to, because when I do business here in this house. My wife knows because she's seen the kinds of people that are brought in to do business. She knows that they are very dangerous sorts, so she usually tends to, stay a little quiet about certain things like that. And it's understandable because, they're very powerful beings, so I think it's a bad idea to piss them off. So we just do what we can to, keep living our normal lives here and just exist. I mean, I've already got all I need. I don't need anything else. I just try to provide it for other people who might need it. Of course, your people, you, Zoro, your party, in case they need anything else as well. I mean, yeah, like I know you'll be able to fight them, and I'll probably say like 6 times out of 10 you'll probably beat them, but we do get those unfortunate customers that do really like the privacy. So if anybody else comes in, kind of don't like this place being threatened because it's like the best home I've had in centuries. So that's kind of the issue. I'm kind of held at knife point. I can't do anything. So
I yes, I understand what you mean. I wouldn't want anyone to attack my people or my town again for third time again. But I will just say though, if you do need of me, know that I can teleport anywhere. And if you need to, I can you can just teleport them somewhere else. I mean, Iron Luna is ashes now, so teleport them there and tell me. I will be there in an instant. I can fight them if you don't want them here.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Of course.
It's refreshing to see that somebody's actually putting up something for or even just a little old me.
Well, I do believe that those who would seek to hurt, those who would seek to harm, and most importantly, those who would seek to try and bully or use or manipulate the those who cannot fight, those who did not ask to fight. And like you'll just see like Shaemar scratch like the side of her head a little bit. Well, I don't believe those types of people deserve to have free reign to your services. Well, they don't deserve to have free reign to anything, but especially not bullying you, Aragon. You are beyond kind to everyone you meet. If anyone tries to threaten you with anything, you let me know. It will be dealt with quickly.
Thank you. That's it's reassuring to hear. I'll make sure to give you a Zoro call just in case. All right.
All right. Stay safe, please. I don't want anybody else I know to get hurt.
Trust me, don't worry. I'm not gonna be trying to get myself hurt soon. Not while we have somebody else coming along the way. You see that he grabs his wife's hand. It's like, we have a baby boy.
Are you really? Congratulations!
Yes, it's been a few months now, but I think in another few months we probably might get some more information about it. But we spoke to a very close friend of mine that helped me with that, and yeah, we have a baby on the way, and I think I found a good name for him. I don't know if this will be a good name, but we've kind of gotten an agreement on it. We're going to name him Goodwin. I don't know if that's a good name, but I hope he will do his papa proud.
Goodwin. I like it. I think it is very suiting.
I think so too.
I mean, I could not tell you because, I'm not of the same culture, but to me, I think it rolls off the tongue. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so I gotta try harder to being a better father. So I gotta make sure that I try hard enough that he lives a good life, because I want him to grow up like me. Well, maybe not the same experiences, because of course, you know, having to deal with very dangerous customers is not really a type of thing. But I just hope that one day he'll take up my legacy. Take up the legacy of working blacksmithing. Carpentry, all types of trade. I just can't wait to see what my baby boy will be like when he grows up one day.
I'm sure he will be great. Both of you, I'm sure, will make fantastic parents.
Thank you. You flatter the both of us. I will tell you though, the day that he's born, I will make sure to call up you and Zoro right away so you guys can see him.
I would be honored. I, I, I don't think, I don't remember if I have any experience with the young babies, but I would be honored to make this the first time. Yes.
Oh right, yes, of course. Yes, come say hi. Just get have a little fun with little Goodwin. So yeah, man, it still perplexes me because it's like I'm gonna be a father soon, and it's like I never thought, right, that being like growing up nothing more than just like a lonely blacksmith slave for the demons, I would manage to grow up and actually manage to have almost everything I want in life. It's wild. I never thought I'd be able to get this lucky.
So, how did you do it then? How did you make the life you wanted to say?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of opportunities to work with very prolific people, and I've just proved myself in all those times. I mean, hell, I've worked with some of the greatest blacksmiths I've known, and they are probably the ones that shaped me to who I am today. Yeah, they've taught me their trade, their craft, and I've just taken their techniques and made something of my own. I made myself a legend. So, and with all the knowledge that I've gotten throughout the centuries, right? Throughout all the knowledge I've collected, I'm still learning new things. So it's like it's never ending. I'm learning. So I just hope one day that my son will be just like me, just learning everything that will be coming up to him. Everything.
I I think that is a wonderful idea, Aragon. And I am sure any child that you have with him, that you have, well, I should say, any parental bond you have with him, I am sure he will take after you. I I cannot remember anything really, but I am certain that this will be the case. Just on feeling alone, if nothing else. That I know. That I know.
thank you. Thank you for the kind words. It's good to hear some reassurance because I'll be honest, Vela and I have been very nervous being parents. You know, growing up, we never really knew our parents as well, so it's kind of weird, you know. We never we never really knew our parents growing up, so it's kind of like it's kind of like a nice twisted coincidence, you know. It's like we never knew our parents, but now we're gonna be parents as well. So you know, I just hope that I do good at being a father. It's gonna be a long road, but I'm sure it'll be an exciting adventure for him.
I'm certain. And I think if anybody could handle it, it would definitely be you, Aragon. I don't think I know many people who are this zealous about parenthood. So I am certain that you will do fantastically.
I hope so. Oh, you see that he looks over. You see that he looks over on the side. As you see that the portal opens up again outside, he says, "Oh, looks like somebody must be calling for me. So I guess I need to be getting going." You see that he gets up and dusts himself off of some of the crumbs from the cake that he had. He gives like a small kiss to his wife. He's like, "All right, so I'm gonna go. If you want, you can stay here if you need to. I just gotta go deal with some clients right now because unfortunately the work never stops. So I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and grab my gear. Go ahead and get ready, and I'll be on my way. So enjoy
Uh,
what you want to hear. Vela can still keep you company, and of course, if you want to come back here, if for any reason, of course, just come back. Blow the horn. The portal will open for you, of course. The portal will close itself as well, so don't worry about having to close the portal. So long as you've made sure to go across the portal at a certain limit, it will, it will allow you to go in and out, and it will close by itself. So I need to go
oh,
get ready.
let me just I'm and like Shaemar will just kind of shuffle, kind of having avoided the conversation for most of it, for like most of the time she was here, but she'll just like kind of ask him, uh, you don't, well, if you're too busy right now, it's okay, but Bailey and at some point, could you tell me more about him, about
Oh,
the person he was, or something? Who was Amanda? I just and
oh,
like Shamar will just like kind of like stare at the floorboards for a second and just be like, I don't know what to do with him. You see, he he left me. No, he sent me to die by Colchis, but
okay. Hold on, hold
I don't.
on. You see that he puts his hand on your shoulder. He's like, okay, hold on, hold on. Let's take it slow. The clients can wait. I don't mind them waiting. So, if you'd like, we can talk about it.
I I would. I don't mean to make you wait. If it's a
No,
story,
no, no, no. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, people need to learn who they are in this world. I know that from experience. So, I will be right back. I will let my client know that I'm working on something for him. And when I finish, I will speak to him again and I'll come right back, okay?
oh, all right. Sorry for the bother.
Oh, it's alright. It's alright. Here, have a seat. Have a seat. You see that he looks and was like, Vel, honey, can you just make sure that our guest is still okay by the time I get back? You see that she gives him a small nod before you see that he leaves out the door.
Shamar will just kind of look at Bella and like kind of scratch the back of her head again and just be like, I I'm sorry to have kept your husband away from his work. I don't mean
No,
to
no,
take your
no.
time.
Listen, he's always been busy with a lot of things. We've always just tried to make sure we've kept up with each other. And he's not wrong. People need to learn who they are in this world. So, it's better if you don't know, and if Aragon has the knowledge of it, it's better for you to know who you are so that you feel more secure in where you are in the world. Because last thing you want to be in is in a situation where you have no clue who you are anymore. Now that is a situation that Aragon and I have both been in many times. It's not a fun experience. I know what it's like. So, let's have a seat. I'll get you some more tea and some more cake. And we'll just relax here until Aragon comes back. When he comes back, I'll give you two some privacy. I'll go probably check up on some things upstairs. Maybe hopefully he didn't make a mess while he was changing, and get some cleaned up.
How did it, Miss Lily? You don't mind it? How did how did you find yourself? You say you lose your identity. You find yourself, but how do you do that? How does it leave? How do you get it back?
Well, there are multiple answers to that question, and there are more questions that sprout from that answer. There's no definitive thing that will tell you that and it's over. No. It's a question you have to constantly keep asking every time you keep going. But you need to make sure that you look through everything that you've done and reassure yourself that you know what you're doing. It's hard, I know, and it sounds better on paper, but with enough practice and of course with someone as well to reinforce that, they will help you. And over time, you'll begin to change and you'll begin to become more affirmed of who you are, you know? It's difficult to say because losing your identity is something that happens to everybody. And not everybody is able to find their identity. But when they do, they become something just much more than who they were before they found it. It was the same thing for me and Aragon, but Aragon, being stubborn as he was, made his identity known to everybody. Through hard work, dedication, and of course, his friendly attitude. That's why I married him.
I don't know if that could be considered stubborn. That seems more just his rubbing off on people.
Well, that's also true. But, it's like I said, dear, okay? It's difficult to find an answer to this question because for everybody, it's different. For you, Aragon's told me a little bit, and my condolences to you. As she puts her right hand in your left and kind of shakes it a little bit. She's like, "My condolences to you for not knowing who you are, but with enough time and with somebody with you, I know you'll be able to find it." And I know it's difficult because Balin was also a dear family friend of ours, along with Amanda. But with something happening to them, they have lost touch with us. So it was only a matter of time before something about Balin's past would come up, and well, it came up at an opportune moment. So it's better for you right now, when Aragon gets back, to sit down, have a chat with him, and understand who the two people are in you, and figure out who you want to be. Because those two people were people whose stories have already ended. It's just that they're forced to continue it in an unorthodox way. Like a story that's been finished, but instead there are side stories put in that don't exactly match with the original novel. It's hard to explain, but all I can tell you is those two people don't define you, because you have your own memories of things in life, and then of course there are memories from the other two that you share with. But for you, I'd suggest make new memories. Understand who you want to be in life. All right?
And and then I I I don't understand how much these people are of me. I have their memories. I have some of their lives. Some of these people still recognize me as who I was. Oh, it's like trying to start again, but you're only allowed to go back to the middle, never the beginning.
And that is where you'll start. Okay? Start from wherever you can start and just keep going. Make new memories. Make new friends, meet new people. That's all I can tell you. Because for Aragon and I, that's how it was for us. We were always on the back foot in life. We never really learned who our parents were, as he's already told you. We didn't exactly have enough money. It was hard for us to earn a living, but with enough dedication and, of course, hard work into knowing who you want to be in life and your purpose, Aragon made something out of nothing. And here we are, in this room, in a new plane of existence somehow. And it was all because of Aragon and his work that created this. So, for you, learn who those two people are, but know that those stories are already ended. And now your story needs to begin somewhere.
I and like Shaemar will just like kind of like lean back a bit on the bench and just like kind of put her face in her hands and just be like, I am trying, but it is so hard. I don't know who I am, who I was, who I will be, who I like. I don't know how much these memories have over me. What part of it is me? What the part that I take or the part that was there is it's
Okay,
so
let's start. What is the recent memory that you've had that brought some semblance of smile to your life?
I and like Shaemar will kind of like think back and like think back to the ball and everybody having fun. And she'll think back to like the kids in the dancing hall causing wreaking a bit of havoc for the rest of the guests. She'll think back to seeing Karuni have fun with Eric, and she was glad to see her, like have some time to relax and to show off and get to be proud of who she was. And she'll just remember seeing Celeste and Mercurio sneak off and then seeing them come back bedraggled when molest happened. And she'll remember, you know, getting to speak with Captain Christensen and the fact that he had basically told her just start somewhere. It doesn't matter if you don't have a reason, you just got to start somewhere and feel your way out through life. And she'll remember Zoro and the time she actually got to spend with him, you know, the fact that he was really able to understand kind of what she was going through, their shared struggles, the fact that they both used to be soldiers, the fact that they both are soldiers in their own senses, and the way that they both kind of lost family members, but not in the sense that they died, but in the sense that they just are filled with bitter memories. And Zoro was capable of forgiving his father and gave her the advice of trying to understand Balian more, trying to figure it out. And she remembers getting to dance with Zoro, and that was a lot of fun for her because, for once in her life, she didn't nobody told her to do that. There was no memory of that. She didn't know what to do. She didn't have any previous worldview to go by. It wasn't from the death corpse. It wasn't a faded memory of a long, long lost thing. It was something she got to do. And it was something she got to do with someone who she liked. Someone who's been really cool with her. And she's really glad that she got to have those memories. It was it was a lot of fun for her, and it's like that would probably be the memory that she has that would come up with that.
You see that as you are kind of like looking through it, you hear Vela say, "See, I can already see your expression now. It's changed. You're a lot more smiley than you were earlier. What changed?"
I thought of a time I did a horrible dance with one of my friends and nearly broke his face into the floorboards. But I saved it. I saved it barely. Well, my shadow did. And that's the other thing. I have to ask him if he knows what this stupid shadow is. But yes, yes, I was thinking of that, and I got to see the princess, and she was so happy to get to dance. And Tal, oh, I was so happy for Tal. pal got a little girlfriend, and he was happy to get to dance with her, and he had such a big smile on his face. I don't think I have seen him smile so much in such a long time.
And
It was a wonderful night.
that, you see, that is finding out who you are. Memories that apply only to you, not by anyone else, not by the other people that live inside you. No, the memories you made that you know of, they give you happiness. And of course, not just these. Of course, there are going to be other memories that are going to be painful, other memories that will make you angry, and memories that will give you hope. But those memories you make are memories that you make of your own choice. Your choice. Not the choices of the two people that live inside you. I don't think they influence the decisions you make nowadays. And if they do, then that means the story hasn't ended yet. But since I see that you are talking about something from your own life, your own perspective, you have finally started to learn that you don't have to take anything from them, because the other two have already ended their stories. It's done. They can't finish it because it's already been done for them. But for you, your story has barely just begun. So for that, go and make your story a whole library book, a whole library shelf of memories. Because that, not anyone else's, can take that away from you. Those memories are your own, and they belong to you personally. Understand?
I suppose so. After all, I need to experience life to live it, you say?
Yes. See? You're already learning it. It's good. You see that the door opens up and you see Aragon come back and says, "Alright, so I had to speak with one of the clients. I know it took a little bit of time for me to get back, but how you guys doing? What's going on?"
We were starting the chat without you, I'm afraid. You are late to the party.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, I was I took a bit alright, well, you see that Vela gets up from her chair and she looks over and she says, "I'll give you two some privacy, okay?" You see that Aragon looks like, "Oh, but I thought you were gonna be," and you see that she kisses him before she like leaves. But before she does, she looks at you, Shaemar, as well as she goes upstairs and leaves. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I seem to have been awestruck. So what were we talking about again?"
Bailey and Amanda, and
Mm.
if you know her, who was the original Shaemar?
Okay, so where do I begin? Balin. Well, I guess Balin and I spoke a long time ago, and that was the first time I met him. I remember I was out in what city was I out in? I think I was in I think a place called Redgrave or something like that. I don't remember. Something like that. And when I was there before, I remember I spoke to him, and the first time I met him, he actually tried to kill me, which was funny enough. But I guess because I wasn't his target, he didn't kill me and kept me alive. And from that day on, I've always wanted to ask him why is it that he attacked me. So I coincidentally ran into him again when I was out hunting for some materials from this like very weird sheep that I found in the forest. I was trying to find this sheep because it has like this like very soft wool. I was seeing if I could make some armor with it, but anyway, I found him there, and we were both hunting the same sheep. It was almost like fate that we were supposed to meet again. So I spoke to him, and he seemed a lot more calm that time. And, he told me, he's like, he's very sorry that, he tried to kill me. I wasn't his target and everything like that. So we made up around that time, and I told him, hey, I'll give you this horn, and if you need to speak to me, of course, blow the horn, and you'll be able to come speak to me at my own private home, which is, well, this one right here. And so, he would come by every few weeks. He would come by, we would chat, he would bring some drinks, we would have some fun here. I'd make some weaponry for him, he'd bring a couple of his other elven friends somewhat here. But yeah. And I remember one day I was trying to find Aragon because I had finished making a set of gauntlets for him. And I remember when I found him, it was the first time I saw him without wearing armor. So I found that a little perplexing, because every time I spoke to him, he always wore this like kind of like this like studded leather armor, and he never took it off at all. He always wore it, even when he was relaxing, he would always still wear it. But the first time I actually saw him not wearing that and wearing actual normal clothes was when he was with a woman. And I thought this was just like something that he's like been brainwashed. So I spoke to him, but he wasn't brainwashed. He was in love. So I found that interesting because, like, I mean, if you really think about it, an elf and a human, right? I mean, of course, there's something like that happening in your party from what I remember. But, aside from that, it just seemed a little off at the time. So it just didn't make sense. So, I just like, he, and, all the times that he would come by again, he stopped coming by with his friends, and instead would only come by with this woman. And we spoke, and everything, my wife, Vela, him and Amanda, we all spoke, have like, some drinks around the table, learned about each other. We actually learned that Amanda was actually a knight of a kingdom of some sort, but she didn't tell us like who she was indebted to or whatever they call it. But she was a knight. So I found it a little odd that, like, a assassin and a knight, right? It just seems a little standoffish. I just didn't think that would be a kind of thing that would happen, but it did. And all I can remember was that a few years later from that, I remember Aragon came to me by himself, and he told me some very troubling news that it seems he couldn't find Amanda, which was a little concerning. But I didn't take it too far at the time, because Amanda's got her duties as a knight, so I thought it was just like her knightly duties to serve whoever it is she's serving. I don't know. But it wasn't until another year later from that I spoke to him, and he seemed to be very saddened by something, and it seemed like something was really bothering him, but he never really told me what it was bothering him. He was just talking to me in like a very low toned voice and everything like that. It was almost as if he was trying to sound menacing to me. And I guess around that time, something must have happened. But I remember when I had stopped by Iron Luna before, I had overheard something about how Balin had brought a mysterious human woman to the altar. What this altar was, I don't know. But when I asked Balin about it, he told me that he had sacrificed Amanda to regain his oath. Which I don't know what that means to elven culture. I don't know how that works. I don't know what happens. But I do know what sacrificed means. And if it is how I think it is, then I knew at the time we would no longer be seeing Amanda. But then he showed me this like very small elven girl and told me that he was her father. And he told me that he was excited to show me this little girl, that he wanted to, take care of her and like teach her what it's like to be an elf. And he just seemed so excited about that. And of course, being a father and everything, of course, that was the kind of thing that we look forward to. Making sure that we see our child grow up throughout the ages. It seems normal until I kind of realized what Balin does for a living, and it made me a little concerned because an assassin with a child sounds off only because it would seem like that Balin would be teaching this child assassin techniques. Which, don't get me wrong, each culture has their own in teaching their kids, but to me, that just seemed way out of bounds for that, because teaching a child how to kill at like a very young age seems a little concerning. But they were elves, so I didn't pay too much mind. It's probably that the child was probably like, what, 50 years old by that point? I don't know. They were still really small, but I couldn't even tell what the age was, because elves have like a very weird age cycle. But yeah, he every time he visited from then on, he began to visit again. And throughout those times that he visited, he would always bring this, little elven girl here, and her and Balin would be practicing outside. Balin would teach her some like techniques of like, hitting certain points of a person, and you can make their heart explode or something like that. I don't know, some weird hacky technique that he was teaching her. And it seemed everything was fine. I still was wondering what happened to Amanda, but he never told me, and he told me to drop the subject every time I ask about it, so I didn't ask about it either way. And that was not until, again, not even a year, a few months later, maybe not even a few months. Is it a few months? I think it might have been another century or something. I don't know. Years, probably. We'll just call it years. That Aragon once again approached me here, and he told me some very worrying news, that this child was gone. And I didn't like the fact that she was gone, because apparently Vela had taken a liking to her, as if she was Vela's child. So it was just saddening to hear that. But then he told me something concerning, again, that he apparently had created a death sentence for this child. I don't know what he meant by that, and he said he's going to try to bring her back. I don't know what he meant by that either. All I know is, when he left that day, I knew something bad was going to happen. So I told him, take the lances that I've made for Amanda, just in case you see Amanda again, because she might need those, because Amanda really liked using lances. So I've made those specifically to her, to her measurements, for her hands and the length, the size for her. And the day that I saw you, when I met Zoro, was the day that I knew he did bring you back, but I don't think it went as planned, because I think what happened was, I don't know about anything much about rituals. I don't have much knowledge of it, nor do I try to make it a living that I know about rituals, because I like to learn things, but certain things I don't like to learn. This ritual that I have kind of looked up a little bit, it told me it was a ritual of reunion, which I don't know what that meant, but it seemed like the ritual of reunion seems to be that when two people of like very strong magical essence are brought together for a ritual, they kind of combine in some way. I don't know how it works from what I researched, but it seems like the two people fuse into one, and it's like the magic power bolsters even stronger in that person. So I don't know if that was he was going for, but it did say that it would potentially bring back the person who was strongest most out of the two. So when I knew that you had come back, I thought that you were Amanda. But from the way that you act and the way that you speak, you seem a lot more like the kid. And you went by the name Shaemar, which is a name that the child also had. So I'm kind of at a loss as to who it is I'm speaking to. I don't know if I'm speaking to like the very knightly woman, Amanda, or I'm talking to the very athletic, destructive child, Shaemar. I don't know who it was I was talking to. So that's why when I heard Zoro say that there was somebody who uses lances, I always thought that, oh, maybe there's somebody else who works on lances like me. But then I thought about it and I was like, lances aren't exactly popular with many fighters, so I don't know what type of fighter would use lances besides Amanda. So that's why I asked Zoro if, the name Amanda kind of means anything to him or means anything to anybody in the group. And he told me no. So I found it odd. And then the day that I saw you and I saw your lances, I kind of took it as a sign that Balin must have done something with this reunion between Shaemar and Amanda to make you. But then that also makes it confusing because your fighting stances, along with how you use your lances, remind me very similar to Amanda. But then when you talk and your demeanor, along with your agility in combat, is a lot like Shaemar's. So I don't know who it is that I'd usually be speaking to most of the time. I usually just go by Shaemar only because that's the name you've given me. But I don't know what else to really say. I don't know if, you're Shaemar, you're Amanda. But listen, I can't really say anything, but all I can tell you is regardless of who those two people are inside of your body, you are you. So, whatever you might come up with right now may decide whether you are Amanda, you're Shaemar, or you're someone else. So, I don't feel right having you leave. I don't feel right leaving in good conscience without knowing who it is I'll be speaking to. So, who is it that I am speaking to?
Do I regain any memories as he's talking?
Yeah, so throughout those times that he was talking from the Amanda portion, you get these glimpse memories of like walking around like a bustling city with like what looks like a younger Balin. Also, you get memories of like, you and Balin going out doing some hunting and like hunting wildlife and like going out camping and having some like fond memories of Balin. And then you also have some memories as like a very like in like a very short perspective as you look up at a different kind of Aragon who doesn't seem to be like very nonchalant but seems very much more uptight from what you see in this other one from this like child's perspective. And you see that like you get some memories of like you and Balin training and learning something. He's teaching you a couple moves, and you execute these moves successfully. He rewards you with like weaponry, armor, or whatever it is, or even just to like go eat somewhere. And both of these memories kind of like flow into Shaemar's head and kind of clash with each other, until you hear Aragon say, "So, who is it that I'm speaking to?"
Shaemar will just like kind of just like still for a moment, not not really sure with everything that that's happened. She doesn't necessarily know what to say because she always felt like one person before all of these different memories kind of screwed themselves into her head. Like she thought she knew who she was, but even when she thought she knew what she was, it was because of a certain culcus telling her who she should be. And now she isn't sure if, if that was, if like even her memories of culcus are her own. Are those like this young child, Shaemar, are they Amanda's? But then it sounds like Amanda died a lot earlier than Shaemar. So how did Balian put the two back together? And supposedly Balian was the one who told her, oh yeah, I sacrificed Amanda. Amanda was the one that, made me do this. She was the one that like, told me to go through with it. But then now Aragon is saying she died and then small Shaemar came into the picture. So once again, another lie there. So Shaemar will just like kind of think back through, kind of all of the memories that she can try to have of small Shaemar at least, to try and think of like something that isn't involved with Balian that was like hers.
Um, in Shamar's memories, um, you kind of like scroll through all of these memories, and like 99% of these memories are just of Balin. Either like Balin like teaching you something, or like you guys going hunting, or like Balin showing you how to use a certain weapon, teaching you or like showing you around the village, showing you showing you like the death core. But there is one memory that kind of kicks up, and it seems very similar to an experience you've had recently, where you see that this child opens up a locket from the perspective, and you see that there is only one woman inside of the locket. You see that there is a woman there, that seems to be smiling almost, and you see that little Shamar looks up and asks who this woman is, only to see that Balin quickly snatches the locket away and tosses it outside, telling her not to go through his stuff before, coming back to sitting in the house.
Am I to assume that's Amanda?
You would be correct to assume that.
Shamar would just like kind of look at, Aragon, and she'll just, like kind of like shake her head a bit and just be like, I don't know. I am I am I don't know. I have memories of fighting lances. I have memories going through Valian's things and the locket of a little girl and a woman. That was Amanda. But I went through his things. Not me, but Shaymar? No, a different Shaymar went through those things, and Balian said, no, do not go through those. Those are mine. But, and like Shaymar will just like kind of just like slam a hand down on the bench and just be like, it doesn't matter. I, you want to know who I am? I am exactly who I am today. I am Shaymar. I don't care who had the name before. This is who I am today. I'm afraid that is all I can do at this point, after all. And like she'll kind of like look up towards where Vela went, and she'll just say, their stories have ended. No?
You see that Aragon looks at you with a smile. Is like, so she did tell you some wisdom, did she? That sounds like Vela. Yeah. You know what? You see that Aragon gets up, and you see that he puts one hand on your shoulder. He's like, and you know what? Whoever you are right now, whoever I am speaking to, you, Shaemar, in the present, you are the one I enjoy talking to. Not the other two that you seem to have very bad memories about. Not the other two. Because it's like what Vela said. Their stories have ended. So, you, Shaemar, in this present moment, are you really Shaemar?
Shaemar will just like kind of look at him, and she'll just, kind of like put her hands, put like one of her hands over like her chest, and she'll just say, I only have happy memories of the both of them, at least mostly. But that is why it is hard for me to say that they are not me and I am not them. But I cannot bring them back. They were sacrificed to make me. So I have to keep going. I have to find something. I cannot go back to being them. So the person you speak to today is as Shaemar gets, I'm afraid.
And that is the Shaemar, the customer that I want to speak to. Alright? You see that he gives you like a very reassured smile. And it's almost like as if this point, it's almost as if like a full-fledged type of confirmation has kind of kicked into Shaemar now. Shaemar, due to the fact that you had been riddled with different memories from these two people, but have now been able to pretty much create an affirmation for yourself to know that you are you. There is no other person who can be you in this very like present moment. This is who Shaemar is, and no other memory is going to change that. You are who you are today. Shaemar, you may now be able to remove disadvantage on wisdom saving throws or checks.
Woohoo! Do I get advantage on those?
Yes, you do.
Let's fucking go!
Through the affirmation of knowing that you are who you are and that the other two people cannot dictate what the rest of your life will be like, and that this new adventure you'll be going on is not coming from either the younger Shaemar or the very tough Amanda, but this would be coming from a new Shaemar that has emerged from the collective memory of both of them, kind of almost like realizing that they both are done. They can no longer extend their story any longer, and have decided to give you full reign of your own story now.
Aww. I think Shaemar will just like kind of like look at Aragon for a few seconds and kind of like maybe rub her eyes a bit, just feeling a lot better now. It's not going to make everything perfect. She still has a lot with Colchis. She still is going to get some memories here and there, and she knows that. But at least now she can feel a little bit more stable in saying that, this is her, and this is all she can be right now. She can't bring these people back even if she wanted to, even if she tried her very hardest. She couldn't bring them back, and she doesn't even know why they sacrificed themselves to do this in the first place, and she wants to find that out. So she knows why it was that she was created in the first place as this Shaemar, the only Shaemar that can exist now as her. Why these people gave up their life for her. But even still, in all of that, it's very reassuring, even through all those new questions, that at least she is herself. And she'll just like kind of extend a hand to Aragon and just like kind of look at him, and just like through teary eyes, but not ones that are like actively crying, just like kind of watery. She'll just like extend her hand and be like, "Thank you for the reassurance. It was very needed." I'm not crying. Do not say that. No.
But I can see something up in those eyes. I can see something.
They are not tears. It's just hot. I promise.
You see Shaemar through your. You see Shaemar that as your eyes begin to water and you blink, out behind Aragon, you see two silhouettes. This time not darkened silhouettes, but more lighter silhouettes. One of a very tall woman and one of a kind of like teenage child, both standing next to each other as they look at you. And it's almost as if they're looking at you with acceptance, Shaemar, as you see that they begin to glow slightly brighter and burst into small little lights as they disappear from the room.
Shaemar will just like kind of point behind her, and she'll just like look at Aragon, look between the space and Aragon. Did you see that?
Huh? You see that Aragon turns around. He's like, "What are you pointing at? I can't see it."
Uh, I saw two people, little a teenager and how you say it, very tall woman.
Hmm.
Are they friends of yours?
Um. There's no one here. I
No.
I don't know who you saw, but you see that Aragon turns around and looks at you and he says, "If I had to take a guess, it's probably that the two people who reside within you have come to the conclusion that the stories have finally ended and they now give you your chance to make your story. I think. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but if I knew how Amanda was, Amanda would want you to have that, to be more at peace. Not just yourself, but of course with the other Shaemar that seems to be living inside you. So long as that's okay, and so long that you understand who you are in this moment, this Shaemar that I'm looking at, who's trying her hardest not to cry, yeah, I can see it, you can't lie to me. The Shaemar that I'm looking at, who's getting emotional about this, is the very same Shaemar I will see again when she calls me to make something for her. Am I to believe that to be correct?
Shaemar will just like, when he says that he sees, like her crying, she's like, no, you don't. And I'm not. And like, but she'll just like, kind of like rub her eyes again and just, but yes, yes. I will have that mithril for you. Let that be known.
And I am thankful for the mithril. So, I think we've got ourselves sorted out here. Everything's been resolved. At least I hope so. And I
Yes.
hope the next time you come to visit, I'll see you in a more clear conscience, right?
And like Shaemar will just like take a deep, deep breath, and she'll just like kind of like, kind of like slap her hand, clap her hands together, and be like, "That is the plan, and I will come bearing mithril. That I can promise you."
Alright. So long as you know who you are, and you know what you're gonna do, and be excited for the next time you come back, because I will make something for you, I believe everything should be resolved. Am I to believe that to be correct, Miss Shaemar?
Shaemar will like give him a big grin, and like she'll like reach for her horn, and then she'll be like, "I do believe so, sir, Mister Eragon. It is nice to meet you properly
And,
as this me. Well, as me. It is good to meet you."
and I to you, Miss
Oh,
Shaemar.
and then Shaemar like, as she goes to like blow the horn, she'll just like kind of stop, and like a thought enters her mind, and she'll look back at Aragon, kind of confused why the thought entered her head now, but she'll also be like, "Oh, and that Aragon, can I ask you one question?"
We've got enough time. Go ahead.
Oh well, it'll be quick. What do you know of Grash, their customs and how they do things.
Oh, well, I will say that I do know a bit about their culture, but I think I will decide to willfully hold that information from you because I think there might be a better person you might want to ask about that. As you see that he gives you a
Well,
small smile.
Shaymar will just like kind of like look at the floor a bit embarrassed, and she'll just be like, that is the question. Uh, I did not want to impose on Zoro. You know, I am. He
And
has done a lot for me.
and who said I was talking about Zoro? I didn't say his name. You see that he kind of looks at you, he's like, but you did.
Well, I want to know how to pay him back. He has been very, very, very gracious to me. Yes, I just didn't want to bother him
You see that you
constantly with.
see you see that he puts his other hand on your other shoulder. He's like, okay. And that is why I say it's better if you ask him yourself. Because you are Shaemar, right? And if you are the new Shaemar I believed you to be, I know that you will ask him. And want to believe that to be correct, as you see that he kind of has a smile on his face looking at you.
Shaymar will just like stare like kind of around the house, trying not to look at Aragon, and she'll just be like, uh, yeah, sure. I'll ask Zoro.
And that's the spirit I'm looking for. There you go. You see that he helps you up to your feet from your chair. He's like, and so it seems like with this, I will need you to go talk to him because I do also need him to come by to pick up, or not pick up, of course, but to get the prototype all finished and make sure I got the measurements right. So you see that he blows the horn on his own side, and when he blows the horn, you see that the portal opens. He's like, and so I believe you should talk to him.
Shaymar will like take the crown off of the table, and she'll just like nod to Aragon and just be like, yes, I will do that. I will make sure to relay your message. Maybe I'll ask him later, but I will make sure to relay your message. And she'll just like take the crown and she'll be like, and I'll give this to Ignis. Rest assured.
And rest assured that you will ask him, correct? As he kind of like widens his eyes at you as he looks down, he's like, correct?
Yes, someday. Yes, I will. Someday.
Close enough. All right, get on out of here. Come on, your people are probably waiting for you.
And Shaymar will just like kind of nod, and like at the mention of her people, she'll kind of sprint through the portal, you know. And I don't know. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah. You sprint through the portal, and it just closes.
Yeah, and then Shaymar, kind of having a bit more peace in herself now, feels like now she's ready to do something that she has not wanted to do for a long time, which is meet William again and speak with him.
Okay. So for this, we'll just have it as a narrative portion, because I don't want to open up
Sounds good.
I don't want to open up the other D&D campaign because it'll probably crash the stream.
Yeah, please.
But, yeah. So you are now back in Ravenfall, right out in front of right in front of Eric's library.
Shaymar will just kind of like try to remember where it is that William and Mara are staying, because she knows that Karuni stays in the library with Eric, but she isn't sure where Mara and William, put themselves. She would assume it would be close to them, but she isn't like fully certain.
Yeah, so they have their own small little residence in the they have their own little small residence outside outside of the library, not too far from it. So you make your way there and you knock on the door, and as you see it open, you see that Mara greets you at the door. She's like, "Well, look at that. Little Shaemar has come back. Well, how you doing, girl?" As she kind of like puts her arm around you and she kind of like pulls you, and she's like, It's been a while since we've seen each other. How you been?
Shaemar will just like, kind of not used to like having like Tamara being this, like, well, I shouldn't say Mara. I should say she's not used to most people doing that to her, but she'll just be like, "Oh, Lady Mara, I'm so sorry that I have not been around. Rest assured, I have been guarding. I have been patrolling. I promise."
Up. We don't talk at the door, all right? We talk at the table. You see that she brings you over to the table and kind of pulls out the seat for you. She's like, have a seat, girl. I'll get some tea ready for you."
Shaemar is probably has to piss like a bitch after all this, but she's probably like just sitting at the table and like getting ready for like what her third, fourth cup of tea in the day, as she like kind of like fidgets with her fingers. She'll just like kind of like nod her head to Mara and be like, "Thank you for the grace, Your Highness, Your Majesty, Lady Mara."
You see that she brings out 2 cups and then puts the kettle down next to it. And she says, "I don't think I like the sound of that. Mara is okay."
Miss Mara?
I'll accept that.
Shaemar will just like kind of like nod her head and just be like, "I do serve you. You know that it is hard.
No,
I
no. Listen, things have changed. You don't serve me anymore. We're not in Iron Luna. You're free now, okay? You're able to do what you want to, okay? And for me, I don't like the idea of having, a servant, because having a servant all my life growing up, it was a little weird, having them, albeit they were a maid, of course. I just didn't like the idea that there's somebody watching me constantly, because, changing and everything made it a little awkward. So just brings up some bad memories. Just,
uh, right. That wasn't what I meant. I meant more in if you. I am here to protect you and Sir William and
And
Karuni.
I know that, okay? You seem a lot more jittery than usual. Did anything happen? You see that she pulls out the seat across from you and she sits down. She's like, "Did anything happen? Are you all right? Are you being followed by somebody?"
No, 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 nothing like that. If you were being followed, they would already be dead. The rest assured, I'm on the job. But that, and like Shaemar will just like kind of like take a breath and like take a quick sip of tea, and she'll just be like, "Is is Sir William here today?"
William is currently getting himself all, better, I guess, after what happened in Ravenfall before. He said he's been having trouble trying to keep his physical body in shape. I don't know what he means by that, but hopefully he'll get better. And you hear footsteps as you hear a different voice say, "Mara, is that who I think it is?" You hear Mara say, "Yes, honey, it is." You see coming downstairs, you see a very, very human William coming downstairs. He says, "Right, so I believe you wanted to talk to me about something?"
Shaemar just like kind of looks at him, just like, "What happened to you? Last I
Oh,
saw you were a lich."
well, I still am a lich. As you see that half of his face like shows over with like a lich his skull with like a glowing eye, and you see that it comes back. He says, "But I've taken it upon myself to see if I can try to implement myself in a human body. I don't worry, I didn't take this from anybody that wasn't innocent. I merely am doing this as an experiment. I don't know if this will work, but so far," you see that he starts like flexing his like right. You see that he starts flexing his right bicep. He's like, "So far, it seems to be going quite well."
I see. Are you doing well in this physical form? You are okay after the events of Ravenfall?
Oh,
Yes?
yes, quite a lot. Thank you, by the way, for handing off some of the life force. I know it was a little tough decision for you to make, and honestly, I was expecting you to kind of give up on me there, but I'm glad you didn't. You see that he grabs a seat and he sits down next to Mars. Like, "So, what brings you here to our lovely abode today?"
Well, Sir William, when we met previously, you had mentioned that I had come back to kill you again, And I was wondering what that was in reference to, because as you know, I still had, and like she'll like start to say serve, but she'll be like, I make sure to protect you, you and the rest of the royal family and the elves. So I was uncertain as to why you would say that. And I was also wondering if you could help me find a few more memories of these times,
Well,
of the ritual.
I don't know much about some things like that, but I can tell you, maybe, just maybe, I might know something, but I'll need to check out something about your magical circulation. It's gonna be a little weird, so can you just make sure to, face away from me?
Shaemar will just be like kind of confused, and she'll be like, she'll quirk an eyebrow, but she'll be like, okay, son,
You see that
go ahead.
William gets up and he goes behind you, and you see that you don't see it, but you feel like a cold touch, not on your like clothes, but like literally onto your skin. As you like feel this touch, you feel it's like slowly moving around you, and you hear William like, yeah, so there. Oh, you have a rough patch there. That one seems fine. Maybe this one a little lower. Yeah, I think this should be okay. Ooh, this one is a bit of a rough patch. This one seems a little okay.
Are you
Yeah.
tilling fields or finding out my memories? Which is it? Come on now.
I'm looking. Calm down. Hold on. And you see that he moves it up towards like the back of your head, and he's like, so there's the problem right there. Give me one moment. I'm just gonna make one slight adjustment, and you feel something. It's almost like in your mind you like hear a lock. You hear like a lock like click as it unlocks, and you feel this like huge wave of like memories just start like rushing into your brain. As you see all these like memories rushing in, you're like now back at the table, sitting in front of Mara, and then you see William go to a seat next to Mara. He's like, all right, so I think I fixed up something there. It seemed there might have been something that's kind of been dilating some of the memories you've been receiving, so I think I might have fixed that. How you feeling?
Do I get any memories?
You do, but there are so many to pick out from.
Should I roll something to see how many I get? Or how many clearly I get?
I will roll it for you, actually. So I will
Nice.
make a roll for you. Okay. So, out of all of these memories that flood to you, you get a nice recollection about 8 of them.
Cool.
So, the first memory that you begin to see clearly is a memory of being in like this like royal hall where there is a throne and somebody sitting on this throne. And you see that this person like lifts up what looks like a large blade as they go towards you, and you yourself are not moving, but like the body that you are looking through, like the body that you are like getting the perspective from kind of kneels down, and you feel like a touch of like something cold on your left shoulder, and then it stops, and then on your right shoulder, and then it stops, and then you get the small, that like inkling feeling, like when you put something close to your neck, you can kind of feel it even if it's not touching you. You get that same feeling on the back of your neck, and then it's gone before you look up and you stand up stand up straight, looking at this person, and you can't see any defining features of this person. You're just looking at like a silhouette of this individual, as you see that they put out the blade in between the both of you, and you see that he turns the blade upside down and like stabs it into the floor in front of you before he walks back to the throne. And that memory is complete. You see that memory like fade off as where it ends. Another memory that you're looking at is one where you are like strolling throughout the through English. You are strolling throughout the city, and you're strolling throughout the city, and you notice that there seems to be a very odd hooded individual that catches your attention. So you immediately start making your way towards them, only to see them dip into an alley. And when you go look down that alley, you see that they are gone. And you see that the memory just fades out again, and you now are brought to another memory where, in this one, you are looking at a in this memory you are in a like weird stable of some sort, and you see that there is a horse like 2 inches from your face. You're like looking, you're it's like the fisheye lens of like the horse, you know. It's like what you're looking at. And you see that as you kind of like look away, you see Balin going over getting some hay bales, and you see that he's like lifting a couple of them and moving them somewhere else, as you seem to be like looking back and like petting this horse until until the memory fades again, and you're given another memory. This one, you see that you and Balin are you see that Balin has his like arm wrapped around you, and you guys are like strolling through the city. You know, you guys see all of these like vibrant like flowers and stands that seem to be selling a bunch of different like ingredients for things, and you see that Balin kind of points at something out into the distance before you see that he immediately takes off, and he like the silhouette of Balin just disappears out in the distance. And you see that as you turn around, you see that there is another silhouette that stands in front of you before the memory ends, and you're brought to another one. In this memory, you are the little Shaemar, pretty much. I'll just kind of give it a bit more, context. You are the little Shaemar that is strolling through the streets of Iron Luna with not just Balin, but Culcus is also there with also another small child next to him. And you can see that you guys are like walking through the city streets, or not the city streets, the village streets. You see that there are other elves that are like greeting the both of you, the other child that Culcus has is holding. And then you also, of course, Balin, and you guys are just looking at all these other people. And these are people that you do recognize as well. Some of the elven villagers that you've spoken to before. Others you've previously worked with as trainers. Others you see that they were people that are later on became somebody in the Death Corps. Until that memory fades. And you are given another one, where this one you are in a very odd prison cell almost. And in this cell, you see that there is a silhouette that goes over towards the door, and you see that they unlock it before they go to you, and they pull you to your feet. And you see that as they are have one arm holding your arm, one hand holding your arm, you see that they take you to this very large room with this statue of this demon and this large stone circle and directly below it that seems to have a lot of parts of dried blood on the sides of it and you are tossed into that circle before the memory fades again, and you are now brought to another one where you are looking at Balin as Balin kind of looks at you, and it seems like he's trying to tell you something, but you can't exactly hear it. Before you are he has you put on this gear, it has you go out into the elven streets. He gives you this weird armor that it's kind of heavy for you from what you feel in this memory, and he hands you this very large sword, larger than your body, and has you walking throughout the streets of Iron Luna before the memory cuts. And then the next memory you're given, the second to last memory that you're given, is that this memory you are looking through a bunch of the houses that seem to have been destroyed by something, and you see that there are like corpses that litter the streets of Iron Luna, and you are like cautiously moving through the city. Not I keep saying city. Sorry, you're cautiously moving through the village streets, as you are seeing like corpses of other elves everywhere, and you see that there are a mix of ghouls with ghoul corpses with those elves. Only to see that as you turn the corner, you see that Balin is like fending off like four of them away from this like elven woman before you like start dashing towards them, and the memory fades again. And the final memory that you're given out of the 8, this memory, you seem to be little Shaemar, and you are walking through this like very dark corridor of like somewhere underground, and it seems like you like open a door, and when you open this door, like in this corridor, you see that there are like these weird prison cells on the side, and you see that there's a door at the end of the hallway. You go over and you open this door to see that very same statue you saw in an earlier memory of this demon, but it seems decrepit almost. Like the statue, like the half of like some parts of the statue have like withered away, other parts of the statue have broken off and are like all over the floor. And it just seems like there's just a bunch of like trash and like garbage everywhere around here. So it just seems off to you, you know. But there's not really much that really is else said here. But you also see that there seems to be a woman who is at the center of this circle in this room before the memory fades again, and you are now sitting in front of Mara and William.
Shaemar will just like kind of look up at them. And she'll just be like, ah, more memories. Do you two happen to know anything about the ritual of reunification? Or...
Reunification? I do know of that one. Might I ask how you know of that?
Well, you're looking at one of its products. Eragon, a small demon blacksmith, very nice guy, love him. He has a child coming on the way. I need to find him a baby shower gift. Anyway, he knew of Balian and this other woman, Amanda, and the Shaemar that existed before Shaemar. Apparently, something had happened, and Amanda died, and then this Shaemar, this person who inhabited this body, it seems, also died somehow. And to bring them back, Balian used that ritual. And what you see now is the product. I have both of their memories and the shadow that follows me, and I could not tell you what any of that means. All I can say is I am me as I am now, but I would like to know what has happened. This ritual in and of itself seems something rather suspicious.
Well, this ritual of reunification is something that's supposed to, in theory, bring 2 people back from the dead into one body. And whoever is the strongest, well, soul out of the 2 would be the one to come back. All powers and everything in tow. But there are instances where it is seemed that a person has come back, but has different memories of another person. But for you, I don't know. It seems you are of 2 minds. So it seems you're probably 2 souls in one body?
That seems to be the fun part of this magic trick.
That is indeed a byproduct that could usually come from a reunification. So that's another byproduct. Whew. Yes, so the ritual of reunification is interesting. It basically allows you to pluck a person's soul from wherever their soul goes to after they die and bring them back from that. But you see, there is an issue with that. When you pluck somebody's soul from a place, regardless if they return to the Nine Hells or they return to somewhere up there with Astra, regardless, if they are to return to a realm that they originate from, they would be barred from entering it.
So, my souls are barred from ever going back?
Wherever they came from. I don't know where your souls went to, and I don't know who the people were before it, so I can't say that I can really tell where they went. But wherever the souls went to, it seems like when they were forcefully brought back, they were brought back into you. But, like stated, if there is a situation like that with the reunification ritual, the souls that are brought back are barred from ever entering any type of realm that they're supposed to go to when the soul is supposed to pass on. I don't know if this is something that is true, but it is only a hypothesis I have. It was from one of the researches that I had before I died. So, if I had to guess, it is probably the case that you will neither be able to enter heaven nor hell.
Shaemar will just like kind of just like stare, like long stare, deep stare, just like at a wall, because she's never really feared death before. It's always just been like, well, if it happens, it happens. You die. But she's never really contemplated non-existence. When she dies, there won't be anything there. So she just like doesn't know how to handle that part of it. She'll probably just kind of see like her hand kind of shake where it's on the table. I go nowhere.
That is a problem with the reunification process. The ritual will damn the souls to never move on. Unfortunately, either becoming liches or ghosts, but I can neither confirm this nor deny it because I have not been able to experiment to this degree yet, as I am a lich. I have yet to even pass on. I was only given the opportunity to become a lich, but as for moving on, I only barely just saw the light before I was brought the opportunity to come back.
Carla's mom in here? Is she working?
I see. Is there any possibility that it would not be that way, or any way to avoid such a trial?
Well, let me see. There was another experiment that caught my interest. It was something exploring another realm, one that seems to be of like a limbo of sorts, where it's neither heaven nor hell, but it's not like being in the void. It is something that I have tried to find out, but I am still unaware of this limbo's existence, nor how to get to this limbo. But my hypothesis is that maybe souls that have been barred from both heaven and hell may enter this sort of limbo. What this limbo is, what it looks like, or how it functions, I could not tell you.
I see. One more question then, Sir William.
Yes.
I saw in my memory a vision of an old, decrepit statue of a demon. Might you know who that is? I can list off features.
Alright, give me the features. The features that you remember, Shaemar, was like curved horns that curve outward and then curve up. you noticed that there was like a very large, like a very like angered looking demon face, and then one notable feature was an eye on its forehead.
Shaemar will just kind of like start making kind of like, like the curved horns on her head, like the eye in the center of her face. And she'll just be like, big, big curved horns, eye in the center of its face. Mean looking fellow.
Well, the horns are always atypical for demons, but the third eye can only signify there is only one that it belongs to. The one you might be talking about would be of Argasax, a very interesting demon. He's one that deals in trade with most demons commonly, but he also likes to make deals with humans, and from what I hear now, also with elves. So it seems like his influence seems to be spreading somehow to other places in the world. As to how, I don't know. Argasax is probably one of the few demon deities that I would presume would be on the side of causing chaos for not just the demon realm, but for this realm and whatever realm comes after. So I would highly suggest that whoever had done this must have been a apostle of Argasax in some way.
What use would they have in bringing me back? Or doing anything with Balian?
Well, if I had to take a guess, people will resort to doing stupid things when it comes to very strong emotions. I too had that very stupid thing when I decided to get my revenge on Kolkis for killing me, i.e. I became a lich. As for Balin, I don't know what have probably driven him to bring you back to life, but if I had to guess, there's probably something in his past that he couldn't let go. And so he had to make a deal.
Oh yes, and I am so very grateful for that. And like you'll just see like Shaemar just like kind of start to like shake a bit with rage as she says, "Oh yes, and I am so very grateful that he could not let go of me. He couldn't let go of me when I was Amanda. He couldn't let go of me when I was Shaemar. And now here I am once again."
There is one thing I do want to test, though. If you mind me testing it, Shaemar.
Shaemar will just like kind of like take a few breaths to calm down, and she'll just be like, "Yes, do whatever you need, Sir William."
Well, this may hurt, so do I have your
Fuck.
permission to do this?
Shaemar just like waves her hand. "I'm used to it. Go."
All right. You see that William puts out his hand. Is like, I will need you to hand me your palm, whichever one is your dominant hand.
Shaemar will hand him her right palm.
You see that you put your right palm in his hand, and you see that he kind of like turns your hand so your palm is facing upward, and you see that as your palm is upward, you see William with his left hand. You see that these like weird, like ghastly, like light green looking like string like tether itself out of like out of his fingertips, and you see that it like slowly like worms its way over to your hand, and you see that it like not just like touches your hand, it goes into your hand. And you see that William kind of like manipulates his fingers a little bit for a few moments. He's like, ooh, that seems oddly, ooh, oh, that is new. You see that the tether, like the green tethers, like detach from themselves from your hand, and they like go and like seep themselves back into William's fingers. He's like, I may have some news that may or may not be troubling to you.
Bruh.
So, souls who are usually barred from heaven and the 9 hells usually have an odd type of stench to them that I can usually detect. You do have that
And now I
stench.
think.
Yes, you do have that stench in your soul, but I noticed something different.
Why you poop?
It seems as though there
Poop,
is
Milo.
a third soul that is seemingly emerging itself from the other two that exist within you. I don't know what you're doing, but it seems like this one is of a pure soul.
Is that a good thing, or what does a pure soul mean? Eh?
Well, from some research I've done on pure souls are usually ones that are given a clean slate, ones that are fresh, if you will. They are basically souls that are able to get a balance of where they are in this world, meaning the soul is now able to not just enter hell or heaven, but are able to enter the other, meaning that they are able to enter both realms. So it seems perplexing to me that this new soul is emerging, and the other two souls seem to be dissipating somehow.
But are they able to go back to you know the afterlife, or they're not going to be stuck here forever? Yes,
I don't
they're
know.
not going to be.
I can't really tell you. The souls seem to be slowly seeping out of your body, but as to where they're going, I cannot tell. Where they go is where
Can
they
I
go.
can I keep them then? At least for now. At least until I know that I can get them somewhere else.
I'm
I never asked. I never asked for this to be. I never asked for them to do this. I never asked for them to give up, to give themselves up for me. But I, they still, they were still people. I don't want them to be forced to live in limbo forever.
I am afraid the choice is not up to you. It has seemed that the souls are dissipating from your body at a very rapid pace. I don't know how much is left of them, but there doesn't seem to be much of them left from what I can feel. It seems to be dwindling even more as we speak. It seems as though they've... Go ahead.
Can I try to keep the souls inside of me?
Milo, don't do that. Unfortunately, in this instance, no. With the acceptance of a new Shaemar, the other two have decided to give up themselves in order for this new Shaemar to emerge between the acceptance of both Amanda and small Shaemar. Unfortunately, with this process, they will be forced to leave the body they inhabit.
Shaemar will just kind of look at William and then ask, Is there any way to find them then? I just want to make sure they go somewhere okay.
Well, I can't be sure. Since I don't know of the existence of limbo, I can't really say. But if you can find some way to signify the existence of this limbo, maybe there might be a way to enter it, but I, as of yet, am not sure. I still don't even know if this limbo exists. I just know that it's probably a place where souls who are barred from heaven and hell go to. It probably isn't even named limbo. Probably its inhabitants call it by some other name. But for all I know, this limbo is somewhere in this accursed world. Where? Well, your guess is about as good as mine.
Damn, even the Lich ain't got answers. Okay, Shaemar will just kind of just nod her head, and if the other two souls inside of her can hear her, she'll just kind of say in her mind, she'll be like, I will find you. I will make sure you go somewhere safe, even if it takes me a while to find you. I will find you. I won't let Balian's bad deal take your our afterlife away from you all. So please, stay strong until then, okay?
Shaemar, in your mind, as you like close your eyes and you say this to yourself, you feel a small hand grab onto your left hand, and you feel another person's hand like put somebody rest their hand on your right shoulder. And as you open your eyes and you look, you don't see them, but you can feel them.
Shaemar will just like kinda like reach up for, reach up with one hand and reach down with the other to like hold on to where she can feel them. And she'll just be like, "Is it okay? I will make sure it is okay." And then she'll just like kind of like catch her breath and look at William and Mara, and she'll just ask, "Oh yes, I almost forgot to ask. Mithril, do you have that?"
Do I have what?
Mithril.
Mithril. Well, if I remember, there was a stockpile in Iron Luna, but that was, I think, somewhere in the vault where they found Mara. As to where that vault was, I don't remember. It's in the forest maze somewhere near Iron Luna, but I can't exactly say where. It's been a while since I have visited it, so I don't know where its location would be.
Lady Mara, do you know about where this Mithril is?
You see that Mara takes a sip from her cup. She's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I can remember much either. We had a lot of things going on from then on, from when I was found all the way up till now, so I don't think my memory is gonna serve me much when we go back to that forest. But maybe the rest of the guys might know, I think. I don't know. I just want to live out my life right now. Here, with my husband. You see that she puts her hand in William's hand. She's like, and there's nothing else I want to do right now. So, I don't want to be part of no royalty no more. I don't want to do all that and act all proper and pompous. I'm all done with that. I just want to be normal again.
But okay, out of character really quick. But do the other elves kind of still, don't they have like a shrine to her?
They do.
Okay. Shaemar will just kind of like quirk her head at Mara and be like, Lady Mara, you still have a shrine. The elves, you are still their ruler.
Yes, I know. But don't worry about that. With the coming generations of new elves that'll be coming up, I doubt they'll even remember my name. And honestly, I'm okay with that. So long as my name is not associated with my brother. And you see that she like looks away and takes a sip from her tea, and she's like, so long as my name's not associated with my brother no more, I could care less if my name is erased from history.
Well, they still rely on you now, yes? So
Are you kidding me?
please, for now.
They rely on me. Have you seen them around the city? They are able to take care of themselves. And that is what I truly find inspiring of them. That they no longer got to worry about some tyrannical guy making sure that they get all of the certain rations and portions for their meal. No. I know that they can do better than that. And if they still want to praise to me, that's fine. They can do that. It's just me, I'm done with that life. I just want to be normal. All my life, I've always been part of royalty, but royalty isn't always cut out to be all hokey pokey being fun. There are some times I just want to be fun going out and doing stupid stuff with my husband. So,
Well, I am certain that you can do that and still hopefully look over them. And like Shaemar will kind of like scratch her arm a bit, and she'll just be like, I still need someone to protect. I
And
I still need.
I know just the person you can protect. For me, I will pass down the honor of protection to my daughter. You can protect my daughter.
I already protect Karuni. I just, you are still the head, so I am still going to protect you. I just, please
I
excuse me.
I will then make it stated here. I am no longer the ruler of elves. I pass down that title to my daughter. My daughter can deal with that. I'm sure she can.
I I don't know if you should do such a thing without consulting her first. I mean, you should still be there for her. I mean, you can't just throw that on her.
Don't worry, I'll talk to her. I will talk to her about it. But as of the moment right now, she is currently the new ruler. They can praise her, and I will make sure to support her as much as I can. Me and William both. Just because she has a title doesn't mean we're not gonna continue supporting her. She's our daughter. Of course we're gonna still support her. So, of course, that's why I say the honor of protection of royal family will be passed down to my daughter, Karuni. And so, you will take the responsibility of protecting my daughter, Karuni, from here on out. All right?
I I don't feel good about that. I still don't want. I don't know. Your Lady Mara, it's. I don't. You don't. For now, at least. Please continue being the head until things calm down and Karuni is in the clear ish. Until she can do this by, somewhat by herself. I don't know. I
Okay.
I am sorry.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It'll take some time to adjust to it, okay? And I understand that. So, I will continue doing the duty of being royal. And I will teach my daughter what it's like to, take care as royalty. And in the meantime, I still want you to protect Karuni than you do me, okay? Because I have him with me. As you see that she kind of like nudges William a little bit. She's like, I have him with me. And for that, I think I'll be fine on my own.
Uh, all right.
That doesn't mean you
Yara.
can't come visit. Come visit. Anytime that you got time during your little patrol, because I've seen you around in the city. If you got time, come stop by and say hi.
Maybe. This is a lot for me. I am not good with change.
And listen, change is sometimes good, but it also is something that takes time to get used to, acclimated with, whatever they say. So, with this change, get yourself acclimated with it, and you'll be right as rain. It'll be almost as if nothing's changed, okay? Change is a bit different, okay? So just roll with it. And I understand that it's going to be a little tough because it seems so out of nowhere, but don't worry. I will continue to support my daughter in any way I can. Right, William? You see William say, yes, of course. It's been too long since I've been able to take care of my daughter like a father should, so I will continue doing that duty until the end of my lifespan, which, from my guess, will probably be years from now. Maybe centuries. Eons, even.
Yes. Just please make sure that you stay by her side and the rest of the elves for as long as they need you. I can't protect them alone.
You see that William...
And like at that,
Go ahead.
you'll just like kind of notice that like Shaemar, when she says that she can't do it alone, kind of looks sad, but also like kind of ashamed at for a second, because it's like admitting that she can't do what she was literally designed to do to the effectiveness that she wants. But she just kind of looks at them and she's like, I know I can't protect them alone,
Oh,
and I
wait.
am scared of anything happening, and I am I am I am now two people and souls that are disappearing because of Balian, and I don't know. I
So, wait. Was your whole problem about us not protecting the elves because we're not royalty anymore? Is that it?
no, no, I just look, I know what it is like to lose a leader, and I'm barely holding on without Colchis. You, when you have been raised your entire life to do and be one way, it is hard to live without direction. What I am saying is, please be her consort, be her side, but don't disappear, because I know that they will need some time to adjust. I mean, without Colchis, I feel like I have no purpose. I don't.
Wait.
It is hard.
Wait. Did you think we're gonna just leave the elves? I didn't say we're leaving them. I'm just saying that the whole point of being royalty will be passed on to my daughter. But leaving the elves is something that me and my husband have already said we're not gonna do. We've already admitted that the elves are our family. We're not leaving them. We're not going nowhere. Where they go, we go. Simple as that. I didn't say that we're gonna leave them. Did you, William? You see, William looks like, I don't believe I have. The elves are my family, though I may be not exactly an elf. But they are my family. And if my wife says that they are family to me. So, I will continue to watch over them as I always have, up until now and forever. We're not leaving them. The only thing is, I think we got a little lost in this conversation because my wife only just wanted to make sure that she, wants to live normally, of course. And that's
I,
expected. So, but of course,
I,
we're not.
I understand. And like Shaemar just like kind of like stares at like the kitchen counter for a second and like just kind of like pinches the bridge of her nose and is like, yes, I understand. I don't know if I made my point. I meant, please stay as you are. Maybe not as royalty, but as leading figures, because you don't understand how much leaving that immediately can change things.
Oh,
With Colchis is a whole other thing. When your leader leaves, I can't describe it. Maybe that's just me. It's probably just me.
no, no,
I'm
no,
so
no.
sorry.
Listen, we're not going to get it twisted, all right? You said you still wanted us to be a leader. We'll still be a leader. Ain't no problem to us. The only thing is just like, we'll still be a leader. We'll still be somebody that the people can look up to. It's just the title of royalty is something that me and my wife
Is
aren't
going to
exactly too keen
Karuni.
on. Yes, it's not exactly something
Yeah,
we're keen on. But yes, we're still going to be figures for the people. We're still going to be inspiration for them. And that's how we want to be. We want to make sure that the people are inspired by not just us, but by you and my daughter as well. So, yes.
right, right. You just don't want to be the figurehead. I get it. That is Karuni now. I see it.
No, hold on. We're still seeming to get lost in this conversation, so let's put it this way. All right, we'll put it this way. Me and Mara here, we'll still continue to support the elves, of course. We'll still be figureheads of this. It's just the people that they should be praising now. They can still praise to us, of course, but they also should start praising to Karuni as well. So they should make another statue in her honor to praise her in the church. And of course, like always, we'll still support the elves. We'll support my daughter. We'll support you. We'll support your party of, well, the ragtag adventurers from what I hear. We'll support all of you guys like we always have. There's no difference in that. It'd still be the
Shaemar
same.
will just like kind of, yeah, Shaemar will just very, very embarrassedly kind of look down at her hands and be like, Of course. That makes perfect sense. Yes. Uh, oh, I'm so sorry. And like she'll just like put like her forehead to the table and just be like, I am trying my very hardest to understand this, but I will admit that I am not the best when I am not following orders.
You see,
Maybe that is just Colchis.
you feel somebody pull you into an embrace as you're like have your head on your table, a head on the table. It's like, it's all right, it's all right. There's no need to be embarrassed about that. Listen, there are a lot of people that don't function well without orders, and that's fine. Me and William here are happy to give you orders in some aspects like that. That's fine. And you see that as you look up, you see that Mara has kind of like pulled you in for a hug. She's like, what we want you to do, as of your orders right now, is to continue watching over the elves as you always have. Me and William will still continue to look after them, okay? That's all you need to worry about. That's it.
Yes. Yes. You are very, very, very right. And like Shaemar will just kind of like dust, like kind of like dust herself, like dust like her face off, dust her hair off, like probably dust her head off from the table, and she'll just like give a quick hug back to Mara, and she'll like turn to William and give him like a quick hug, and then just kind of like look at the both of them and like kind of just like nod her head and be like, oh, well, I am sorry that got off track there. I'm very sorry again, but thank you very much, the
Oh,
both of you.
yes, yes, of course, of course. And listen, like always, we're always here if you need to talk about something, okay? We may not be knowledgeable about things in the world, but we're willing to sit here and listen to your problems, all right? So you got somebody to talk to.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. And like as Shaemar goes to leave, she'll kind of just like stop for a second, turn around and ask them and be like, how did you two know you like each other? Like what was the how did you know this? Something that you were like, yes, I think that is the way it should be.
Well, well,
You don't have to tell me if it's embarrassing.
oh no, don't worry, it's not embarrassing. We'll leave it as a story for another time because there's a lot that goes to with this. All right, you see that William kind of like pats your shoulder and kind of like shakes your shoulder a little bit. He's like, you, however, have a duty to get to, soldier.
Yes, sir. And like Shaemar will just like kind of salute him and then just like leave like the house and continue back on with her day.
As you are leaving, you look back and you see that Mara and William are both. You see that William has his arm around Mara, and they're both like looking at you, smiling as you're going away.
Shaemar will like wave back and just be like, and thank you for the tea.
You see that you hear Mara from the distance says, anytime you come by.
And I think that will be it.
And that, chat, is the end. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in to today's small little D&D session. We just had this one just to kind of clear up some things for Miss Shaemar here. Thank you, Shaemar, for being a wonderful player in this. Thank you, Star.
Yay! I'm glad. I hope everybody liked it.
Thank you everybody for tuning into today's little D&D stream. I'll also be doing a regular stream. I'm probably going to be doing this as like a late night stream, so I'm probably going to end off this stream right now, and then I'm going to go run a couple errands. Once I finish up those errands and I get home, I'm going to boot up another stream, and we're just going to be doing the usual. We're going to be playing For Honor, playing Skull the Dark Hero, Persona 3, and a bunch of other stuff throughout the whole stream. So, but also with the added bonus of having everybody in chat that we usually do. But anyway, thank you everybody for tuning into today's D&D stream. By the way, we also have like a new sub goal that you guys can see here on the stream starting soon, and also the new chair thing. The new chair thing, it's not even just new chair, it's just donation. That's literally it. But Please, if you guys want to show more support, you guys can make a donation to my Ko-Fi that's in the description of my YouTube streams. Those ones, you guys can be able to see my Ko-Fi, make a donation for $1. Any amount that you guys send off will always be welcome. It doesn't have to be like a bajillion dollars. You guys said no, it could just even be $1. If I could have made it 50 cents, I gladly would have made it 50 cents as well for you guys to be able to donate as well. But you know, any amount is appreciated. Of course, subscribing to either the Twitch or the YouTube channels is also greatly appreciated for sure as well. Do share the streams as well for anybody who is also interested in D&D but also interested in a little bit of chaos that comes with that D&D. So do share that with people who are also interested. And like always, I always want to make sure I ask anybody who is part of the session or stream any last minute things. Star, anything you want to say before I end the stream?
It was honestly a fantastic stream. It got to touch on a lot of Shaemar's issues that I feel like I maybe haven't been able to do as much justice as I would have liked, just due to time constraints and, you know, just a lot of other stuff. So I'm really glad we got to do this, because it's so good, because especially with what's going to come up in the next D&D session, I get the feeling that especially her, her conversation with Mara and William, and her whole thing is I feel it's gonna make a lot more sense pretty soon. But I'm also so glad. Aragon is such a sweetheart. I love that man. That Australian demon man is the best. I love him.
He
and
tries
Shaemar,
his best.
he is amazing. And I was gonna say, Shaemar finally getting to ask a bit about Zoro, that was really cute. Getting to remember a lot of memories. I am really glad that I got to do all of that, because in session things just kind of fly by, and I feel like she has a lot of shit to unpack. So it's been very fun. Plus, fuck Balian, man. He is such a bitch. He has literally fucked Shaemar over in so many ways, and his own ex-child and ex-fiance. I'm like, bro, how do you fumble the bag this many times?
Well, as stated, he wants to restore his oath, and he was told to restore his oath he has to give up the one he loves. So there's that.
And then he did it again.
And he did it again. So that's Balin.
Loser.
Folks. That's Balin, folks. Anyway,
I get the feeling that Eric and fucking Zoro are gonna jump his ass one day. Probably Shaemar too. But honestly, I know for certain that some of the other characters, some of the other people who play the other characters have already been we're jumping his ass. So that if it happens, that's gonna be so funny. But sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in today's stream. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my house because my sister yelled at me saying that Milo apparently shit somewhere in my house. So I have no clue where the fuck it is. I need to go find it and clean it. But anyway, thank you for everybody for tuning in today's stream. Do tune in a little bit later when I also put up the regular stream and we stream just some regular games. Thank you everybody, and we will see you